What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and today I am going to be doing a little art video. So, a few weeks ago, I competed in Drawn and Quartered. Now, if you don't know what that is this drawing competition that is held with the guys in Comicsgate. So, usually it's on Mike S. Miller's channel. A majority of the time, it's on Mike S. Miller's channel, but when he's not available because he's got stuff going on with life, it switches to other Comicsgaters. But I competed in this competition, and so every week on Wednesday nights, they pick a character, and all the artists compete and draw this character in their own style with their own composition, and you draw a 2-hour live stream. At the end of those 2 hours, no matter what your final product is, that is what you have as your, final product, and people get to vote on it to see whose drawing the audience likes the best. And I won for the first time. It was really exciting. I know that there might have been a little bit of because I announced it on my channel, so a lot of people that follow me on my channel were there and voted for me. So I'm still excited that I won, but I know the reason why I won. And I mean, there's no way that my art even compares to those guys because they've been doing this for, over 20 years. So I'm nowhere near at their level of, creative genius. But I'm trying. So I was excited. But my Wonder Woman, it's only in grayscale for the competition, so I wanted to add color to it to really bring her to life. So this video is me adding the color to the grayscale original sketch. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. Alright, so here we have my original Wonder Woman sketch. Now it's really important to have a color chart. So I'm going to reference this color chart while I draw her. So I've said this many times before, value does all the work, but color gets all the credit. So somebody asked me, Anna, you already did this in grayscale. How are you going to make this into color? Well, that's very easy. You just color on top of the grayscale. There's not much more to it. So when I'm coloring over grayscale, or just when I'm coloring with markers in general, or at least I like to put down a complete flat layer first, especially when you're dealing with skin tones, because that's really, really touchy and you don't want it to look not natural. So I go over the entire thing with a certain color first before I go in with darker colors, and then I go in with the darker colors, and then I keep continuing to mix that darker color with the original value. So it's a lot of ink, but if you want that smooth transition, that's what you have to do. And you can see how I'm doing it right there, and it smooths out that darker color. And as you can see, as I add more of that darker color into her face and I continue to blend it, it shows that seamless color the seamless changing color, I should say. And I continue to do this throughout her body, but it's just the face is where people tend to look first, so you really, really have to make sure that that is seamless, unless your character that you're coloring in has scars on their face or like noticeable lines. It's easier to get away with it when somebody's making an expression or the person's a lot older, but with Wonder Woman, she's young, she's youthful, she's beautiful. You really need to make sure that she's got some pretty skin. Now, as you can see, there was already shadows on her legs, and so I'm just going over that with the color, and yes, I'm adding the darker values, and these are also warm values as well, because, come on, Wonder Woman grew up on an island. She's an Amazon. I personally think she needs to be a little bit more tan, but I understand with the way that they draw her in comics, and as well as, in the movies, she's got a very, very nice complexion, but I think that if you're gonna grow up on an island, you're gonna have a bit of a tan. Just saying. So Wonder Woman also has those beautiful red lips, so I'm giving her that. And now we're going into the costume. So I'm going over this with a couple different shades of red, and the reason why is because in the shadow, it's going to be a little bit cool. So I'm going to use a red that has a little bit of a cooler value, and that's the one I'm using right now. And you can see, just going over the values with the color, you can still see the shape, and you can see everything that I did with the values first, and it looks like, you can see her muscle under there. And now on her skirt, this one's a lot simpler just because it's not really going over her anatomy where it's like showing her anatomy. This one, it's just blending in the values with the color. And so I'm using a couple different shades of this blue. And I really like the fact that Wonder Woman's designs are the 3 primary colors. So it makes it easy, it stands out, and you get to use nice pretty blues and reds and yellows. It's fun. And you can see just now as I'm adding that, transitioning the darker shades, it's really showing the depth, and you can see that those are all individual pieces of fabric. And that's important. I really did like this design of Wonder Woman because I didn't understand at first, like, well, why would she be wearing a skirt? Or why would she be wearing, basically, a little unitard thing with the OG Wonder Woman? And I get it in, like, the animated series, but it doesn't really make sense as far as fighting, either to wear a skirt. But I really like the design of this skirt. I think that it makes a lot of sense, and it's kind of like you can see her little shorts underneath, but it still looks nice. And I mean, she's freaking invincible, so she's got to wear her armor, but she looks good, and I love that about Wonder Woman. I love her design. So now with her hair, even though Diana has black hair, we do not have true black. True black does not exist in real life. So when somebody has black hair, it's never going to be true black. You're not just going to go in there with a black Sharpie and fill it in and think that that's okay, because people are either going to have warm value to their hair or cool value to their hair. So she has more of a warm, but it's more of a brown. It's not someone that has like cooler shades of, I guess you would have to think like when you go and dye your hair, you can either get like the jet blue black or like the jet black. So it's either going to have kind of a bluer hue or a brown hue. So I chose the brown hue because I thought that fit more with Diana than the blue. And as you can see, I'm going in and adding this gold. Now, one of the important things to think about when you are doing metal is that there's going to be a lot of high contrast colors because it is metal. And also when you're doing something like gold, you are going to have more browns in it. You're just not going to go in there with a yellow highlighter and think that that's going to look like gold. So I'm using a lot of the tones that you would usually use on skin tones, as well as a little bit more yellow than I think I would normally use. But because she is a superhero, because this is, kind of an otherworldly type of character, that's why I decided to go in with the yellow, just to make it pop a little bit more. But usually you would use a little bit muted colors to show off that that is a metal, and you would just use high contrast and you would use a lot more white. But I decided aesthetically that I wanted to use it like this, so that's what I did. And you can get away with that kind of stuff when it's your drawing. And as you can see, I'm just going to finish doing that. And also on the tips of her boots. Now, a lot of people say that, oh, Anna, you don't draw feet. It's like, yeah, I do draw feet, but I would have to draw the rest of her body a lot smaller for her to fit on this page. This is an 8x11, so this is just a regular sheet of paper. So if I were to do like a full body character, which I'm completely capable of doing, she would be a lot smaller, and I like doing 3/4 drawings because you get to focus more on the character, their expression, their face. Everyone knows what feet looks like. I can do it, I just need a bigger paper, and unfortunately this type of paper that I use, they don't really make good quality paper in that size. So maybe on one of my next characters I will do a full body and you guys will get to see me draw feet. Now as you can see, it was already gray on her little oh my goodness, I'm forgetting what they're called, her little arm thingies. Gosh, what are those called? I'll probably remember after I'm done with this video. But I added a different type of gray. So this is toned gray. Originally the entire grayscale was done in cool grays, but I think that this pops more. The cool gray is just what I would use as a base gray. It would never be like the finishing touches when there is actual gray in the original or in the finished image. So as you can see, like just the difference in gray makes a difference. And I'm finishing up the touches with her sword, and then after this I'm going to go in and add little details. The little details at the end are always my favorite part. Well, coloring it in is usually my favorite part because it really makes it pop and it gets to bring to life. Usually when I'm doing my own characters, I'm always up in the air on what color scheme to go with, but because it was already established what colors Wonder Woman has, it's a lot of fun just to go in and you don't really have to think and plan out, oh, do I want to do red, do I want to do blue, do I want to do green? No, it's already set in stone. Primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. And then I just am finishing outlining her so that way she pops, and giving her little highlights. That way her eyes stand out, her lips stand out, the metal, of course. And see just how these finishing touches just add to it, adds the dimension. And yes, this is just a regular white gel pen. So you don't need anything fancy like my Copic markers that I use to color in for the details. You can just go get a regular gel pen. And then I'm going back over the hair because I wanted it to stand out a little bit more on those areas. And so she does have these designs on her armor, so I'm just adding that in. This is very light. I'm not putting like hard lines on her. They're very, very subtle. And then going back in, and this is a type of chalk pen, and this is just slightly adding those highlights on there because I don't want them to be as dominant on there. And yeah, so this is my Wonder Woman. This is her finished with the color. And as you can see looking at this image, like I say many times, value does all the work, but color gets all the credit. You can see the difference in how much just adding the color brings it to life, but because I put those values down first, it added the form to the flat image and made it have that 3D shape. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something as well, and I was able to assist with that. If you would like to purchase this drawing, the Comicsgate guys that do Drawn and Quartered, they also hold an auction every Friday. I'm not sure which week I'm going to auction off this one yet, but I will make an announcement of it in the community section of my channel. So if you would like to purchase this, the original sketch, not a print of it, then I will be auctioning it off there. So I will make the announcement in the community tab, and just make sure that you check that, but it will be auctioned off on Friday night on one of the Comicsgate auctions. So without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click that little bell, that way you get notifications when I do other videos and live streams. And until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. What's up, everyone? I have a P.O. box, so if you want to send me some mail, go ahead and send it to Anna, that's Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short, at P.O. Box number 28171, Santa Ana, California, 927998171. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.